Did you know that Uprising is now a TV show as well as a radio show? We rely on subscribers to our YouTube channel to fund the TV production of Uprising, and you can sign up to be a subscriber at youtube.com/uprising with Sonali. Social media accounts of Californians were abuzz over the weekend with the shocking news that a NASA scientist has warned that the nation's largest state has only 1 year's worth of water left. Now in the fourth year of one of the most severe droughts in recent history, California has yet to adopt tough conservation measures. There's a major blame game at play. Vegans blame meat eaters, Bay Area residents blame the water-guzzling lawns of Southern Californians, factory farmers and water-intensive crops are also getting major blame. In reality, what's playing out in California is being replicated in other parts of the world. For example, Sao Paulo, the largest city in Brazil and in South America as a whole, has only enough water left through this June. In fact, last August, authorities even temporarily turned off water supplies to some areas of the city. What Sao Paulo residents will do this June and what Californians will do in a year is anyone's guess at this point. But one part of the world that got more than its fair share of water this week was the tiny Pacific nation of Vanuatu, a series of small islands. Tropical Cyclone Pam was one of the most powerful storms to ever hit the planet, and has so far resulted in growing numbers of dead. Major portions of Vanuatu's infrastructure have been severely damaged. One journalist described the damage as, quote, quite apocalyptic, like a bomb has gone through. While the reasons behind each of these three disasters are varied, one common thread is, of course, climate change. My guest is Janet Redman. She's the director of the Climate Policy Program at the Institute for Policy Studies in Washington, D.C. Welcome to Uprising, Janet. So let's talk about Vanuatu. We already know that climate change means stronger and more frequent storms. How much more vulnerable are islands compared to countries with larger landmass?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a couple things at play, of course. With global warming, we see a change in climate patterns because of the heating of both land masses and water masses. So while the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the global body that studies climate science, hasn't been specifically able to link particular storms with global warming or necessarily understand very, very clearly how precipitation and climate change interact. We do know that warmer water temperatures, warmer temperatures overseas mean more intense storms. So climate change does two things that scientists have said are relatively clear at this point. One, it means the intensity of storms will be greater because there's more energy in the system. As we're seeing more heat in the system, more water evaporating into the atmosphere, those storms are going to be more intense. We don't know about frequency yet. That's still under the debate, but we know they're going to be more intense. And then the second piece, of course, is that global warming means that sea level is rising. The water mass is expanding. We're also seeing a melt from other parts of the world. So that means that low-lying island nations are more vulnerable because sea level is already higher than it would have been otherwise. So we see more flooding from these kinds of storms.